Hey everyone, my name is Taylor and welcome back to Game Domain. As many fans of the channel know, I, Domain76, the writer, have Super Paper Mario as my favorite game of all time. And I've seen a lot of you either share that opinion or also agree Super Paper Mario is the best Paper Mario game. And while that is my opinion, and many of yours, for this video I want to take an objective look at Super Paper Mario and compare different aspects to see which is better. When Origami King comes out, I plan to do a similar video, but for now, I'm going to objectively compare Super and the Thousand Year Door in the following categories: soundtrack, story, characters, visual, gameplay, combat, and once again, I'm going to be as objective as possible, so just because I personally prefer Super doesn't mean I'm going to win in this video. So, let's get into it. Starting off, we have soundtrack. Both games have truly amazing soundtracks, but which one is actually better? This is arguably the most subjective part of the list, so I wanted to get it over with first. This one could go either way. For Thousand Year Door, you have the File Select theme, the Battle theme, Rogue Port, among others. For Super Paper Mario, you have Lineland Road, Mount Lineland, Mr. L's theme, the Over There, Mimi's Castle, Count Bleck's theme, Sammer's Kingdom, and the best of all of them, the Ultimate Show. Overall, I think Super just has the better soundtrack. For TTYD, a lot of the songs are very good, but Super just has so many amazing songs that are even beloved by people who don't like the game. The Ultimate Show is arguably a top 10, maybe even top 5 Mario song of all time. Super is usually put into conversation for the best Mario soundtrack as well. You may disagree with me on this, but Super edges out TTYD and gets its first point. Next up is the story. You all know it's Super, so that's why it's another one I wanted to get over with early, so we could get to the more competitive ones next. It's a pretty popular opinion that Super has the best story out of any Mario game, and that is for good reason. If you want an in-depth look at the lore in the game, you can watch our 30-minute Lore Acts video linked in the description. But to sum it up, a being by the name of Count Bleck creates a void that will eventually destroy all worlds, and you have to collect the 8 pure hearts to stop him. As the game progresses, you learn more about why he's doing this through text in between chapters. There's also a really good twist in the game that I'm not going to spoil here. TTYD still has a really good story, but it just doesn't compare with Super. So that will be Super's second point on the board. Next up is probably the most competitive one in the video, characters. TTYD has countless classic characters such as all of the partners, Lord Crump, Pennington, Professor Frankly, Rock Hawk, and the list goes on. Super has Count Bleck, Dementio, Mimi, Ochunks, Nastasia, Merlin, Francis Tippy, and of course, Flint Cragley. If you notice anything about Super's characters, most of them are the main villains. There are quite a few other good characters around the game, but Thousand Year Door just has more interesting characters. On the other hand, Super's good characters are arguably better than TTYD's, but it's close. This one could go either way, but I think TTYD just edges out Super for its first point. Next up is visuals. And by that, I don't just mean graphics. Obviously, Super is going to have crisper graphics because it's on a more powerful console. It really isn't much different though. What I'm talking about is the environment, the designs, and anything else you see on screen. TTYD has some really awesome character designs and some really amazing locations. Glitzville is one of my personal favorites. The game just oozes character. Each subsection is very different aesthetically, but so is it for Super. Super's visuals are a bit more controversial. Some people love the blocky looking designs, others hate it. If you do like it though, you may even like it more than TTYD. Everything I said for TTYD goes for Super as well. The world is completely different. One is literally made out of bits to pay homage to the classic pixelated era of Mario games. Since this one could really go either way, let me know in the comments which one you think has the better visuals. Neither gets a point for this category. Now, the most important category in the video, gameplay. These two games are very different gameplay-wise. TTYD is an open-ended adventure with abilities to gain, partners to join your party, and some puzzles sprinkled throughout. Super, on the other hand, is a linear platformer RPG that gives you the ability to switch dimensions. The winner is Thousand Year Door. While I personally enjoy the gameplay of both games, there are some objective issues with Super, such as the game being too easy and some levels being like fetch quests. TTYD's gameplay is just much more varied, and while not being a super difficult game or anything, it does provide some decent challenges. The exploration, while not perfect, is still a great part of TTYD as a whole and adds to the charm of the game. With that being said, the last category is combat. Super has a more traditional Mario-like combat system, where it is just you jumping on enemies' heads, and there is still one real RPG battle in the game towards the end. But, like I said, with gameplay, the game is just really easy, especially the bosses. You could beat some bosses in basically a few seconds if you know the proper technique. There is still some RPG-like progression to combat, as when you damage an enemy you get points, and as you get more points, your health and damage go up. That's at least more in-depth than Sticker Star and Color Splash's combat. Really isn't much of a competition though. TTYD's combat is just far better. It's a traditional RPG, so there is just more to work with. The audiences for fights just add so much, as they could hurt or help you. There's so much variation with badges, partners, and special moves. It took what the original Paper Mario did and just made it better. It's going to be pretty difficult to find an actual Paper Mario fan that doesn't think TTYD has the best combat. And with that, TTYD takes its third and final point and ends up winning against Super, 3-2. However, depending on if you think the visuals are better in Super, it could be a tie. Let's just review now which is better in each game. For the soundtrack and story, it's Super. For gameplay, combat, and characters, it's The Thousand Year Door. Both games are great in different ways, and you can't go wrong choosing either of these as your favorite Paper Mario game, but from an objective standpoint, from just what we looked at in this video, TTYD has more objectively better elements. Doesn't objectively make it a better game, but just better in certain aspects. And just remember this before you write a comment or anything, it doesn't matter what someone else thinks. It doesn't matter if someone likes Sticker Star as their favorite game in the series, that doesn't affect you. If you're a rational human being, you won't get angry by some random person online saying he likes a game differently than you. So, please just be respectful in the comments to those who disagree with you on your favorite game. With all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and like and share it around. And if you want to see any other Paper Mario videos, make some suggestions in the comments. We'll read all the comments, so it will be seen. This has been Taylor with Game Domain.